Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. Today we're exploring a seriously fascinating concept from a recent proposal that completely reimagines how we use the public spaces sitting right in our own backyards. But before we get going, I want you to take a second and visualize your local neighborhood primary school. You know the one. Think about the building, the gates, the classrooms. Got it? Okay, now think about the fact that for roughly 18 hours a day, that entire public facility is sitting there completely dark, locked up tight, and totally idle. It's crazy, right? What if we could just flip a switch and unlock all of that unused potential?
Okay, let's dive into this. The core guiding vision of the source material we're unpacking today is elegantly simple: a reading seat within walking distance of every citizen. I know, it sounds utopian, right? Almost incredibly ambitious. But what makes this proposal so incredibly compelling isn't that it requires trillions of dollars or massive sweeping new construction projects. It's actually a remarkably grounded idea because it leverages resources we've literally already built.
At the very heart of this vision is something called the School Reading Hall, or the SRH. By definition, this is a concept where every single primary school is transformed from a strictly daytime institution into a 24/7 public reading space for the entire community. And the real beauty here? It's all in the shift of perspective. We aren't talking about breaking new ground or pouring new concrete. We're talking about taking a public asset that already exists, a building your tax dollars have already paid for, and dramatically extending its utility.
Section 1. Why primary schools? Activating existing infrastructure. Let's get right into the blueprint of why this specific approach is basically a silver bullet.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between where we are right now and the proposed reality. Currently, a school is a 6-hour daytime institution. The bell rings, the doors lock, and that's it. The proposal shifts this to a 24/7 public reading space. It's a complete top-to-bottom optimization of public property that turns a part-time asset into a full-time community powerhouse.
The practical logic behind choosing primary schools is just so incredibly clear. First off, they're already present in almost every single locality. You don't have to figure out where to put them because they're already deeply embedded in our neighborhoods. Furthermore, they are publicly owned, which is huge. That means we completely bypass all the mental, financial, and bureaucratic headaches of acquiring new private land. Add to that, they're sitting idle after school hours anyway, and perhaps most importantly, they are socially trusted and highly accessible. People already know how to get to their local school, and they feel completely safe sending their kids there.
This line from the source material really sums up the entire philosophy of the proposal for me. Instead of building new libraries, activate what already exists. I really want to lean heavily on that specific word, activate. Think about it. Building a brand new library takes years. You've got zoning, funding battles, architectural planning, construction. It's a massive headache. But activating a space that already has walls, a roof, and electricity, that is a practical, fast-tracked, and immediately achievable solution.
Section 2. Inside the reading hall. Zooming in. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we shift our focus directly onto the granular, physical mechanics of these proposed spaces.
50. That is the proposed baseline standard for every single location across the country. It's a very carefully calculated number. It's large enough to make a real, meaningful dent in the local demand for study space, but it's small enough to easily fit within the footprint of an existing school without requiring any massive, expensive renovations. It's a perfectly scalable, standardized unit.
But the true power of these 50 seats lies in their radical accessibility. The proposal dictates that these halls would be open round the clock to absolutely everyone. This isn't just an after-school club for primary school kids doing their math homework. It's for university students, gig workers seeking a quiet corner, job aspirants grinding for competitive exams, and hey, even elders who just want a peaceful spot to read the morning paper. The only catch? Maintaining strict reading discipline. We are talking about a completely silent, hyper-focused environment available to anyone from the crack of dawn to the dead of night.
Now, to make a space truly functional 24/7, you obviously need to cover the fundamental basis, and the proposal outlines these super clearly. We're talking the absolute essentials here: adequate lighting, fans, and backup power, because there is nothing worse than a study session getting interrupted by a grid failure, right? You obviously need access to drinking water and toilets. Crucially, for the modern era, you absolutely must have charging points and optional Wi-Fi. And finally, to make sure the space is totally safe during those late-night hours, basic security featuring CCTV and controlled entry is mandated. These aren't fancy luxury items. They are the tangible, bare minimum requirements for a safe, modern study environment.
Section 3. How it works. Ownership without heavy bureaucracy. Because let's be real, the inevitable question is, who exactly is paying for and running all of this? While the source material proposes a seriously clever dual governance model, as you can see, the funding comes directly from the top via the National School Education Ministry. This ensures a steady, reliable stream of capital, no scrambling for local bake sale money. However, and this is the genius part, the day-to-day operation is handled by the local reading community. We're talking parents, teachers, local volunteers, and retired citizens. By pairing that big national funding with community-driven operation, the model ensures true local ownership. The actual people who use the space and care deeply about the neighborhood are the ones managing its day-to-day quiet hours and access. It effectively cuts out layers and layers of slow administrative red tape.
Section 4. The nationwide impact. Zooming out. Let's move to the macro level and see how this builds into something truly massive.
The broader societal benefits outlined here are just profound. It begins with equal study access. This literally levels the playing field, giving a student from a noisy, crowded, or lower-income household the exact same pin-drop quiet space as someone from a wealthy background. This deeply embedded infrastructure simultaneously fosters a lifelong learning culture right in the beating heart of the neighborhood. Furthermore, by providing safe, night-steady infrastructure, it supports people working demanding day jobs who desperately need a place to prepare for exams at night. Ultimately, we achieve total public asset optimization. We're finally squeezing 24 hours of value out of a public building rather than just 6.
This represents a massive, massive paradigm shift in how we think about public knowledge infrastructure. The traditional approach relies entirely on centralization. You know the drill, building a few massive, monumental libraries downtown that you have to take a long bus ride or drive through traffic just to reach. The school reading hall vision, though, it completely flips the script. It relies on decentralization. We are talking about creating hundreds of thousands, lots of small, living reading spaces scattered exactly where people actually sleep, work, and live.
So the crucial point is this. The ultimate system-level outcome here isn't just a bunch of slightly renovated classrooms. Not at all. It is the creation of a massive, nationwide grid of micro-reading hubs deeply embedded in every single village and urban neighborhood. By linking our schools together with this shared purpose, it's like a giant puzzle coming together. We transform isolated individual buildings into an interconnected living grid of continuous education and focus.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one question to really chew on. What would a 24/7 reading hall change in your specific neighborhood? Think about the students cramming for finals, the remote workers, the older folks in your own community. How would access to a safe, quiet, fully equipped, round-the-clock space transforms our daily lives? It's a pretty powerful reminder of how just rethinking the spaces we already have can fundamentally change our entire society. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one.